Okay, here we go. As promised, I'm going to go over the review packet. Some of these we went over in class, so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. I'm just going to roll past it. If you did not get these answers, you can pause the video at any time and put the answers down on your sheet. So I'm just going to scroll through this and point out what I think are some of the most important items. This first page, the isms, very important, really all of it. So make sure you understand these isms. This will get you pretty far on the test if you understand all of these concepts. If there's any one of these that you are not sure of, come talk to me. I'll give you some examples. I'll explain it. Some of these are on the Thursday, the stuff you wrote on the board. So just a couple of them I'll go over again in class. The theology triangle, the Catholic, Calvinist, Protestant, Luther thing, I would not say this is hugely important, but have a basic understanding of this. The monarchs, do not get wrapped up in these monarchs. There's a few key ones you need to know. Henry VIII, Elizabeth the First. I would know about Oliver Cromwell, what's going on in Britain at this time with the Protectorate, and William and Mary after the Glorious Revolution, and then skip to Victoria, and then George VI is only important because he's the king during World War II, and then Elizabeth II, the current monarch. All right, so name that ruler is pretty fun. Just identifying some of these key rulers, but don't get too caught up on going over that page before the test. Okay, so French kings. I would, at this point, just skip right to the Louis. If you don't know some of these others, we're 2 days from the test. Make sure you understand Louis XIV, Louis XVI, and, of course, Napoleon and the Directory. Napoleon is emperor. Okay, and then Louis XVIII is only important because we're back to the Louis after Napoleon. So make sure you understand those guys. The other stuff, if you don't already know it, don't get hung up on it. Prussia, Frederick the Great. We didn't do all of these in class anyway. I would say, even though he's not the monarch, but Otto von Bismarck as chancellor, make sure you understand that and his role in unifying Germany. Skip to HRE. Charles V. Kind of starts this with, he kind of unites the lands of the Habsburgs. He's the first Habsburg ruler. But then these guys are not massively important. All right? Okay, the Holy Roman Empire, remember, wasn't holy, wasn't Roman, and was not an empire. It's a big mess of a bunch of different countries. Science, this is, I would go over this. Don't get too caught up in this. Make sure you understand Charles Darwin, Isaac Newton. Curie, make sure you understand Curie, especially as an example of a woman in the time period and her contributions to science. The dates, don't get real hung up on these dates. All right, they're kind of faded if you need to get the answers on your answer sheet. I'll give you a second so you can pause the video if you need these answers. But honestly, if you understand, you're not going to get a date question on the AP test. They're not going to ask you, in what year was Stalingrad? All right, so if you have a basic understanding of the timeline, you understand that, the Renaissance happened before industrialism, and then World War I, then World War II, then you're going to be fine. All right, here's the third dates. Again, I'm going to stop for just a second if you need to pause it, but then I'm going to move on. Okay, how am I doing on time? Oh, crap, where's my timer? I have no idea. Okay, so authors, Machiavelli. Make sure you understand Machiavelli. I've given some different answers on Machiavelli than what's on there, but John Calvin, Predestination. That's really all you need to know about John Calvin. Descartes. I would definitely know who he is. I don't think you need to know a lot about what he's written. And then Hobbes, Leviathan. Make sure you understand social contract and the difference between Hobbes and some of the other Enlightenment thinkers. Locke, make sure you understand Locke, but not tabula rasa. That's not major. This is where you need to understand Locke, natural rights. Okay, second treatise on government, natural rights, social contract. Montesquieu, he's the guy who proposes 3 branches of government, checks and balances. Adam Smith, not important at all. I'm just kidding. Mr. Sparks is in the room, so that was a joke for him. So understand, Wealth of Nations is the basis for capitalism. It's still referenced today. Skip down to, again, Darwin, Theory of Evolution, Survival of the Fittest, or Natural Selection. That's what I'm looking for. Mein Kampf, I told you on this, just know that that's the book Hitler wrote, and it's trash. You don't need to understand what all's in it. Just know it's racist and not very well written, but be able to identify Mein Kampf as the book Hitler wrote. Okay, so on Britain for prime ministers, I told you these are not hugely important. You can take a look at some of my answers that are in here, but definitely know Winston Churchill as a leader of Great Britain during World War II. One of the most quoted speakers of all time. Tony Blair, more recently, longest serving PM. Know who that is? David Cameron, who is not on your list, but again, not massively important. I would say Churchill's the most important. Kohl in Germany, he helps organize the European Union. And then, of course, Angela Merkel, who is the still serving Chancellor of Germany, and probably one, if not the most powerful leader in Europe today. And then on France, just know who Charles de Gaulle is, his contributions. Other than that, none of these other PMs are massively important. All right, so getting to the treaties. Peace of Augsburg. Okay, this is in what is now Germany. But this is a treaty between the Catholics and the Lutherans, Luther's followers. It gives German princes or German rulers the right to decide their religion in their country. Peace of Westphalia, again, German states, Holy Roman Empire. This recognizes Calvinism, and then it helps to start to organize the German states. It also ends the 30-Year War. Peace of Utrecht, however you say that, ends Spanish War of Succession. I would not really count that as one of the most important ones. All right, Peace of Paris. This is a bigger one here. This ends 7 Years' War between Great Britain and France. And I'll let you guys copy down that info if you need it. Just go ahead and pause it. But it explains basically all the territories they gain. Congress of Vienna, massively important. Sorry, this is handwritten. Congress of Vienna, they want to create a balance of power around France. Remember, this is the second time after Napoleon, second time a French ruler has tried to take over all of Europe. So this is going to lead to the domino effect of World War I. All right, they take away lands from France. They give them to, you can see down here, Prussia, Austria, Russia, and this is going to make a lot of people mad. Big name you need to know for this is Metternich. He's the leader of the Congress of Vienna. And then Wellington, the guy who defeated Napoleon, is also at the Congress of Vienna. Treaty of Versailles, again, massively important. You need to know Lloyd George. You need to know Wilson. Clemenceau a little bit. Orlando, we don't care. So this is, you guys are very familiar with Treaty of Versailles. I covered it quite a bit in class, how it punishes Germany. Some of the effects are written out here. All right, go to Corn Laws. All right, this is, why is it not telling me my time? There we go. Okay, I'm at 11 minutes. Okay, so Corn Laws. Basically, this is a massive tax on imports in Britain. It's going to raise the price of food. It's going to make laborers, it's going to make lower class people really pissed off. Also, radical intellectuals. They're going to repeal this in 1846. This is going to be Britain going towards a more free trade after this is repealed. Glorious Revolution, basically it's religious motivated. James II is friendly to Catholics, so people think he might raise his children Catholic, so they get William and Mary to remove him from the throne, and they put William and Mary on the throne. And after this, you have the English Bill of Rights and the creation of the constitutional monarchy. So England goes from an absolute monarchy to a constitutional monarchy. This is basically the peak of the monarchy's power in Britain. After the Glorious Revolution, the monarchy just loses more and more power. Acts of Union, this is Scotland and Britain, 1706, you can get that down. Belford is interesting, you can pause it and get that info down, but I'm going to skip to Enclosure Acts. This is all throughout the 1600s. There's multiple acts that they're going to start letting people fence off farms. Act of Supremacy, this makes the monarchy, or the monarch of England, the head of the Church of England. Modern philosophy, I would know Nietzsche a little bit. Okay, I'll let you copy that down. I would know Kant. Maybe Sartre a little bit. So you can stop there and copy that. I would know Descartes, and of course John Locke, massively important for Enlightenment period. And Thomas Hobbes also. Make sure you know Locke and Hobbes so you can compare the two in case you get an essay, all right, where you need to compare different points of view on the Enlightenment. Voltaire, Rousseau, all right. And remember, I'm not going to read these to you. You have to stop the video and get them down. Thomas Paine, I would know Thomas Paine. Most of you already do because you had U.S. history. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. All right, so the wars, 30 Years' War, understand that. Spanish War of Succession, War of Austrians, 7 Years' War, more important. You can stop that there. And 24. Oh, okay, this is Russia. So we already went over this in class. Ivan the Terrible, Peter the Great, Catherine the Great, and then down to Nicholas II. Oh, also Alexander the Second. Where is he? There he is. Know those. Okay, so just under 15 minutes. There you go. Get all that info down.